Hey, this is American soul artist Brian Owens, and you're checking out You Know I Got Soul that time. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for taking the time for the interview, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm really appreciative of you doing this.
No,
it's a real honor.
Definitely. I just want to start out talking about the group you were a part of while you were in the Air Force Sidewinder. Just give us some history about how the group came together and how you guys got to start.
The military band itself has been in existence for a pretty long time. I actually joined that unit back in 2004 when I left active duty, because the unit I'm currently in is a National Air Guard unit. And I sang with Sidewinder off and on. I really was with the concert band, but in February of 2011, they needed a male vocalist to deploy because something happened with the guy from our unit who was initially supposed to. So I was just at a place where it made sense for me to do it. I had the skill set to do it. So that's kind of when that group was put together with myself and Angie as the lead vocalist. And we knew it was special just because it's rare that you have, in an Air National Guard unit, which isn't a full-time band unit, it's rare that you have two lead vocalists who are both civilian professional singer-songwriters and who do a core living. So we were pretty excited about going over and playing for the troops and just taking a really high-quality product over to them. But once we got over there, we really knew we had something special. Now, all the other stuff that happened, that was totally beyond anything any of us thought would happen. But it was fun nonetheless. I mean, it was one of the best experiences of my life, and not just with all the fanfare. I mean, just playing for the troops was a highlight of my musical career.
We'll talk about some of the attention that came with it, and you were on YouTube, you got a lot of hits on there, a lot of people were discovering you on there. What was the key to, being discovered like that and being heard, on such a major scale like that?
When it comes to the viral things these days, I don't know that there is a key. I think it was the right song at the right time. And when people saw it, it was one of those things that just blew up really fast. Yeah.
Well, how did you, take it from Sidewinder and what you had going there to now where you are now as a solo artist? Just talk about that transition.
Well, it's interesting that I was a solo artist before.
Okay.
I actually came to the group, and I was actually working on a record deal before I deployed.
Oh, okay.
So the transition has been, it's kind of been like just continue on as planned. I was actually, while I was in the desert, I was working on the music for this album.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the concept of the album and lyrics and all that different, sort of great content. But I think that it has prepared me in a lot of ways, and I feel like I've gone to places that I will inevitably go back to. And also prepared me in the sense of just teaching me great lessons of humility, in that I'm not the focal point of all of the attention. Angie is, and it was really exciting for me, though difficult at times. Was very exciting for me to see her get the attention and acclaim.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about this album you've been working on, Moods and Messages. Just tell us a little bit about the album and what we can expect to hear on there.
I'm really proud of it for a debut album. It's soul. It's American soul, old school soul, and it covers a lot of the aesthetics from the Al Green vibe to the Curtis Mayfield vibe to the Otis Redding vibe. The album is definitely message driven. I feel like 50% musician, 50% messenger. Okay. And in this album, I really feel like I began to capture the conversation that I want to have with fans and music listeners and music lovers about different areas of life, enjoying life and the different moods that we go through. And hopefully by the time someone plays through this album, and they get to the end, they'll feel more equipped to live life. That's the hope and the prayer, is that at the end it will be more than just entertainment to you, but it's something that becomes a part of your message in life. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for the album. Okay,
cool. You've got the new single, Open, Lovely Day. What can you tell us about the single?
It's just a feel-good song. It has that 60s, the 60s vibe, kind of like a Motown Poppers kind of thing. And really the song is just, it's both a general and specific statement. In general, it's just saying, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you may as well be open to it. Because if you worry about it, well, when it happens to you, you stress over it. That doesn't help you any. So you may as well be open to what's going to happen tomorrow. And then the other part of it specifically is how love can help us be open to it.
Yeah.
For me, it's, love of my, my faith, love of my children, my wife. Those kinds of things, when I go into every day, not knowing what's going to happen, those things kind of ground me and give me a foundation. So it's just really, like I said, it's being open to the endless possibilities.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier before the group, you were working on a record deal as a solo artist. So I was, did being a part of the group and being part of the Air Force, how did that help to shape you as a musician?
Well, it really gave me a sense of balance. And one, I really learned who I was as an artist. I learned a lot about myself. And performing for military audiences, when I initially came in, I had to sing everything from country to Broadway to whatever, the occasion called for. And I learned how to be myself no matter what I was doing.
Yeah.
And not to just approach things from an entertainment standpoint, but to really put myself into it so that it's always unique and genuine.
Okay. A few of the artists you mentioned earlier that have inspired you were Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, and Al Green. Are there any current artists out now who you would say that inspire you?
Yeah, I just I found one today that I'm really digging. Her name's Rebecca Ferguson.
Okay.
I really dig Estelle. Raphael Sadiq for sure. Just folks who are singing.
Yeah.
I appreciate people who are singing and making real music.
Yeah.
Who can sit down with an acoustic guitar and not just entertain, but can really take you someplace and make you feel. For a long time I was just listening to a lot of traditional soul, which is really what I listen to now, a lot of traditional soul music and traditional gospel music.
Yeah.
Because that's the music that touched your heart, that helped you get through the day. I'm not looking for a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
When I'm going through something, I'm not looking for a Band-Aid. I'm looking for some healing.
Yeah.
And even songs that can help me deal with the hurt. Not just mask it and say, let's have a party until it's over with. But really say, here, accept it, embrace it, and here's something to get you through it. And I think a lot of that music came from that kind of mindset of, well, we got to go through this anyway. We may as well go through it on our own terms with a smile and with strength and with faith. So artists who are doing that are the ones that I tend to gravitate to today, and I think there are a lot of them coming out.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a fresh outlook and a breath of fresh air, because I know a lot of music fans are seeking that type of thing. They're not always getting it today, especially with R&B and soul. So I'm glad you're taking that perspective and when creating your music. Now,
thanks, man.
Yeah, I just want to talk about, you've been featured on national TV shows, talk shows. You've performed for Michelle Obama. You've performed at the World Series. What's been the best experience for you so far that you've had?
I would say playing for the troops.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
With all the television and at the White House, I would say that the best experience so far has been when we were over there playing for those troops.
Yeah. Cool.
In the hot, in the heat, sweating like I've never sweated before in my life, but knowing that there was an appreciation there on a level that I've never seen.
Wow.
And to see it in real time, and it was inspiring.
Yeah.
To see the power of music in action.
Yeah.
And I think that, definitely outside of leading worship, that was the greatest experience I've ever had.
Cool. It's a beautiful thing. And just to wrap up here, I know you've got some performance dates coming up. Can you just mention some of those?
Yeah, I mean the major thing that I'm doing is I'm going to be. It's actually cool. I'm leading worship with a house band down in New Orleans.
Oh wow!
The leader of the band is Peter Mayer, who plays with. He's the lead guitarist for Jimmy Buffett, and that's it's going to be at the Superdome down in New Orleans in July, and then we'll be doing a release concert for the album. I think August 30th.
Okay.
And other than that, I have a private concert series that we just started in St. Louis, and that kicks off on June the 15th here in St. Louis. So lots of good stuff going on here.
Very cool. So that's all we got for you. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, man, that's great, man. I'm really appreciative of you taking the time to kind of get the story, man.